Good evening. Welcome to the 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 evening. Welcome
That
See the siding, that was pine.
I don't even know what that term
You
is.
see it, you drive by the library, it's white currently.
The audio is
primer. It
posed.
will eventually be painted red.
Toast.
As the road is supposed to be. We,
Okay,
have
so
some interior repairs
let's
to do.
not
have enough for both of you. So anyway, I want to thank Joe because if anybody remembers, we originally had $50,000 voted on by the taxpayers to fix the library. And I kept being told, well, what if there's mold underneath? What if there's this? So Nancy graciously got some more money and we started on the project. So I appreciate him being frugal with the money, so. On the next page is the partners' bank accounts, the balances. And 165 is our reserve account. If you remember, we took $1,500,000 out of our account and put it in a special account to get more interest. So it's now up to $1,871,411.99. As you probably can tell, I never have numbers that high in my bank account. The demand operating account is the money that we use for our operating expenses, and that's up to $4,745,685.24. That's 328. 877 is money that we moved to pay for the new town hall, which will be going back when we finish with payment for the new town hall. And that's at $1,341,754.02. And my understanding, I wish Roger was here, was that that was taken out of TIF to finish paying for the town hall. And then the TIF account has $3,186,048.72. So that's where we are right now with our accounts. So I think it was very interesting that Roger did move that money so that we got a higher interest rate on that money rather than leaving it in the general fund and getting 0.995%. So, any questions on that? So with the TIF, we have about $3,186,000 left in the TIF right now, but we still have till 2030 with the TIF.
So Barry, what you just read off to us were what we have balances in the accounts today. And the account balance in the TIF account is $3,186,000, $3,186,048 that's the current balance of the TIF.
As of the 31st of December. So that's the latest bank statements that I had available.
Okay, in following up on the agenda item, just the TIF, I'm glad you were able to give us the other balances in the other accounts. But the balance of about $3.2 million is what we currently have in that account. What we have left to go in the TIF account is 5 more years. The TIF runs out in 2030.
Right.
The balance of what we have to look forward to receiving in the TIF and over the next 5 years is approximately $2.2 million.
Right.
Together with what we currently have, we'll have about $5,400,000. Have U.S. select people thought about, as the descending values of the TIF over the next 5 years starts to run out, have you decided what you want to do with those funds?
I think I'll let Dick address that for you. Dick?
Before they run out, what I'm curious about is...
Because we have been talking about it, and he actually was going to present something tomorrow night.
Yeah, well, that's what I was curious about, whether or not you formulated a plan, because what happens over the next 5 years, next year, or this year actually, you'll get $800,000. Next year you get about $624,000. The third year it goes down to $445,000. The fourth year it goes down to $267,000. In the fifth year you go down to $89,000. So
and I can't add that fast.
Yeah. So you really need to start planning ahead of time.
Right. Yeah.
And I know we talked about Public Works, I know we've talked about a lot of things, and I'm just hopeful that the select board takes advantage of the time that we have left in the TIF to do some real planning before it runs out. That's my only comment.
So
about the
Dick's
TIF.
going to be addressing that tomorrow night, but he can go ahead and tell you his plan to present tomorrow.
Yeah, preview what will show up tomorrow is, I'm going to ask the select board to take or open to applications for a group to study what we have and what we could have. It's a wants and needs thing with regard to public safety across the board. Roads, fire, ambulance, and whatever. I make no preconceived notion about what might be there, but I know that there are needs in the fire level. We had a, we had a fireman fall on the way from their sleeping quarters to the fire station. Why and how? Ended up with an injury. We shouldn't have that happening. They ought to be able to get in a safe place and be a quick responders. So there's some needs, and I think they would fit nicely with a look at what we're doing with our winter use, our winter road care. And that, I mean, I'm just floating across the surface, but that's what I want the committee to do, to dig into it and see what are we spending, what do we have, what do we want to do going forward, and present the options. We do it now, we'll have a couple of years to make it right.
Excellent, thank you. I appreciate that, Dick.
Because to apply for grants and stuff, you have to have everything already ready. You have to have your plans and the costs and all that stuff ready before you submit it to anybody for a grant.
We have 5 years, and I think that you're right on target as far as I'm concerned, Dick, with doing the planning and make sure we spend that money to the best benefit of the town before it's gone. Thank you. The next item is carry forwards. I don't know who's going to present for that.
Well, I was hoping Roger would be here, but at our last meeting, we did approve to carry forward the $61,649. That's number 9 after the ones from specific accounts. I don't know, and I did ask how he covers the deficits for insurance and the treasurer. You know, I had 39,706. How he covers those, because it was my understanding he was going to move money from the carry forwards to pay for those. But when I look at the warrant, it doesn't really give us permission to do that.
Well, I'm curious, because the way I understand carry forwards is that we have 3 categories.
Pardon?
The way I understand the carry forwards, it breaks down to 3 categories. One, the protected funds,
Right.
which we have $286,654 in. And that protected funds are funds that are carried forward for a specific project or purpose,
Right.
such as the library was.
Right.
We carried 45,000 of the 50,000 forward to another year because we did not, the town voted to spend 50,000. They only spent 5,000 on some heat, and then they had 45,000. That was a protected fund. Okay.
So those
That was
protected,
a protected fund.
right, yeah,
The unprotected funds that are available for operation, that's another category, and that fund currently has $292,974. And then we have another, the third category of carry forward non-covered funds, which are approximately $61,649. I'm not really sure how we allocate those funds in the budget, but they are broken down and they are carried in those 3 categories. And I did notice that you were looking to protect some of those funds in order to allow for the
We wanted to use,
reevaluation of the town, which is
Right.
going to be a substantial number. You, you estimated that the reevaluation cost was going to be $269,500, and you would like to see some of those funds appropriated for that purpose. And I guess you would be using the unprotected funds of around $292,000. Is that correct, Mary?
well, that was the original recommendation, but I think that what we found out since is that we probably would have to take that money, have a warrant article that reads that we want to take that money from the general fund so that we don't cause a tax burden on the town people to pay for the reval. Because I'm not sure that we can move money like that, because we have an Article 15 that we voted on last year that says, shall the town vote to authorize the select board to carry forward specific account balances from the current year to the same article accounts for the ensuing year for the specific purpose of each account.
I think you're correct, Mary, and that Article 15 would prohibit you from doing that, but I think what you're trying to do makes a lot of sense. So I would think that the select board has to look at that as a
Right.
warrant item.
Right.
And you would probably want to discuss that in, your meetings.
And then
to
bring it
allocate.
forward to you to get your approval to put that on the warrant.
Yeah, because I think that makes a lot of sense. And Article 15 right now of the warrant prohibits you from doing that. So you may
And
want to take a close look at that as a
Right.
select board.
And so the couple things that have come up, and we'll review them in a minute, so I won't go there yet. We'll review the 10,000 and the 35,000 in a minute. But those are the carry forwards. I still have questions on how we cover the deficits, because we have to cover them. So is that something that we take out of the 200,000 undesignated funds? I don't know. So I may be calling the auditor, Braun, about that, what to do. And so those are still questions that I have about the carry forwards. But we did vote to carry forward that 61,649 for the items that were listed. And we don't have a choice on carrying forward. We have to carry forward the protected accounts. So that number has to be carried forward because many of those accounts are like not summer rec, the other thing. The community day account has funds where we have funds that come in before the summer's over, so we have like a healthy balance at the end of the summer after we have the event, and that money needs to be carried forward, and until it's carried forward, when we're paying for, like the tents and stuff, we're always in a negative balance until that money gets carried forward. So.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any other questions in regards to the carry forward?
So we'll have to get back to you on those items. And I'll find out this week. I'll give Ron a call and bug him until he answers me.
Thank you, Mary.
And then the final section of that package is just the money that we spent on the new town hall so far. This is not final by any stretch. We've been verifying. I've run the 2024 account balances for both accounts that we were using in the 2025. And originally I had a discrepancy from what Diane's number was of about $12,000, which if you look at it in relationship to the amount of money, it's not that much, but I haven't been able to find it. And then I did some the other day, and now I'm over what she thinks by $7,000. So there's got to be a mistake somewhere that we just need to find. So we'll work on that, but we're still getting bills, like for the water and for the acoustic tiles and other things, so we won't be finalizing that budget till the very end. I did get a message from, I can't think of her name. She's Susan Collins' person in Maine that reached out because I guess some of the towns had a problem last year with getting their funds from rural development. So she wanted to know if we had gotten all our funds, and we haven't gotten the total amount yet. We're about $700 short. The thing that really goofed us up was the government being shut down, and so they're still trying to catch up where we are, so we'll eventually get that $700 from them. So that will be a work in progress, probably for a couple more months until we get everything fixed here and, you know.
Does the committee have any questions for Mary on the municipal complex?
But, you know, if you look at a 7 million,
Okay, well, thank you.
7.8 million, being 12,000 short one time and 9,000 over isn't bad, but, you know, my dad would be making me look at my checkbook for 20 years to make sure I
But I
even it
think,
out.
in general, Mary, I think it's safe to say that the building came in on budget,
Right,
and that we're working on, you know, closing it out. We're within pennies of a $7.5 million project, and that you're working with RD to get the balance of the funds. I will say one thing about the complex. The sound panels are supposed to be coming tomorrow morning.
right.
And Jim has volunteered to help, and I'm going to help. And we're going to meet them here at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I hope for your selectmen's meeting, you have a much better acoustic
I hope.
auditorium than we have right now.
And
because
if
it
not,
is
we're going to have
difficult
to
hear.
start dividing the room up or something.
Hopefully, we'll see an improvement tomorrow night.
So anything I couldn't answer, I'll get you answers for. Sorry, but I thought that Roger would be here, who deals more with the money stuff. Any questions?
We're all set.
Okay.
Dick, I guess this is just a statement that you're making under new business. There's an increase in the health plan, medical 9%, and the dental 5%. Is that?
That is correct.
That is?
That is correct, yep. And I'll have a breakdown, so you'll see the impact across the board as I put together each of the staffed positions, or the staff budgets, I should say.
The next item is item B on the agenda, and it is to allocate additional funds for the snow budget. We're looking for a motion to approve $35,000 to be used out of the $200,000 undesignated fund that the town has. It needs the approval of the select board as well as the finance committee. So.
And the select board approved it at their last meeting, so we just need the
so then
finance.
It's our part of the deal now to move on this motion. Can I have a motion to allow the select board to use $35,000 out of the $200,000 undesignated fund?
I make a motion that we approve the $35,000 for the snow removal.
Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Any discussion? Don?
So what's driving this?
Well, driving it is that we needed some more salt. We needed to order some more salt, and the concern is with all the storms that we've had in the beginning of the year that everybody's going to be looking for salt, and we're going to run out of salt by the end of the season.
So
And
did we buy less than we did the year before? in the beginning?
I don't really know that answer. I'm sorry. I'll find out for you, Don. But I know that we've used 50% more this year than we did last year with the same number of storms. So, and I think some of it may be that we have new people plowing, and it may just be sometimes the consistency of the storm. So the state has a statute that says that we can spend 15% over the total budget for the snow plowing, and that would be $85,000. And originally I had written a proposal to get that $85,000 so we had it in case we needed to order salt. Rob's really concerned that, you know, we might go to order it and there won't be any because they literally were waiting for the ship to come in
Right.
a couple weeks ago.
If I may, I play golf with a couple of guys from other towns, and we were talking about that this weekend. And there's one town on the coast that has no salt, has nothing. Another one who is scraping by with just a bare amount. And I was in Portsmouth over the weekend, and you're familiar when you cross the bridge, you usually can see that mountain of snow, of salt. There's nothing there. We're on the verge of emergency situations if the weather turns south again on us, as it did this past month and a half or so. I think when the last time I spoke to Rob, we had the equivalent of 18 weather events that required salt, sand, and attention, and we have our fingers crossed that we saw the end of the tough stuff, but we have no way of knowing that. So we'd rather be safe than sorry in the event that we do have a tough spring and a cold spring. And as Mary said, the risk of not being able to get it is very high because the boats can't land it as fast as it's being taken.
Thank you.
But I will find out how much we start. I'll find out that information for you for the next meeting. Sorry, I didn't think to ask Rob that, how much we started with, because some people on Facebook have asked that specific question. So, and we may be addressing that again tomorrow to see if we can get the other $50,000 that we'd be able to spend just to have it available if he needs to order. Because the problem is if for purchase that large, we would need at least 3 signatures, and he needs a couple weeks to be able to order it and get it delivered, is my understanding. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, one quick question. I mean, so do you think, given the winter we're having, Dick, that this will be enough and we've got cover for the rest of the year?
Rob's quite confident that will be enough to take care of it. And I mean, it is so bad. I don't know if you're aware, but the salt providers have shut off commercial accounts and are only selling to municipalities and public services. So Rob's quite confident that this will get us through the rest of the winter. And I recall, Mary, I think you mentioned it, pardon me, my hearing is in and out in this place, as everybody is. But I think Rob and I went through the orders, and we are about half as much again as we had in the prior years. And it is a product of, I think, new folks behind the wheel and understanding that when the truck stops, you got to stop the spreader as well. So sometimes things kept moving, and they get their act together much better in especially this last big event. So I think we're under control, and it's more a product of being sure that we're protected versus fear of it's the fear of the storms and to be sure that we get there because of the lack of product on the market, So.
Great, thank you, Dick.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll move the motion to a vote. Unless there's further discussion, are we done discussing? Move the motion to a vote. All in favor of allowing the town to take $35,000 out of that $200,000 designated fund, please vote. Say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Okay, let's.
And
move down
then, do you want to address the payroll, or do you want to wait until we address it first?
Let's address it first.
Okay.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is the budget review process, and we will be starting with the first budget, which is streetlights. And Dick, I guess you'll be presenting the budgets.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not, don't mean to be flippant. And I appreciate your patience and tolerance while I waded through some of these things. Some of these forms and spreadsheets have been years and years in the system, and so when I go to look at them, I try to take something out, put something in, and I have had to wrestle with it. The first one is streetlight account. And as you see, that has remained consistent throughout. So I have changed nothing, and I'm returning to you with the exact same expenditure as the prior 3 years.
Any questions?
Yeah, because the version I have has, oops, wait a minute. Yeah, it has kind of has zero, basically. So there's an appropriation, but the expenses aren't in? Maybe I've got the older version.
I have nothing to believe that this is going to change.
Okay,
So
so it's even,
even.
flat, okay. Yeah. I have an older copy. Okay, thank you. I'm good.
Which would you like to do?
Vic, I do have some questions. The amount that we're asking for, in the year 23-24, there was a incoming fee that was for the shared expense with the town of Buxton for the lights over the bridge. In 2024-25, apparently we didn't share anything or we didn't receive anything. So I was curious as to, do you have any understanding of why we did not receive any shared funds from Buxton?
I do not.
The other item is the proposed 25-26. We have $600 for the light signals, and the total from, if you have the total of $600 for the signal lights plus the CMP expense, you have your $16,000. I'm sorry, $1,600. 1,600, no, 16,000, is that what it is?
16,000.
16,000.
Which is a break even from the prior years. The allocation of CMP expenses and the 35/202 signal, it nets. I didn't break it apart because I saw the same number for 4 years.
Would we add the proposed? No, I believe, okay, I think that the way you have it here is fine for the projected budgets. Other than the fact that for some reason in 23-24, the math doesn't add up right. It's a little bit off, but
Yeah.
I don't have any issues with this. So can I have a motion?
I have just one other quick question.
Sure.
Dick, the CMP is, proposing something like a 20-23% increase. I don't know how much of this is electricity versus pole rental, and so do you anticipate any increases based on electrical costs on these?
I was moved by note number 2, which was left over, that the lights have been moving toward LED type, and that costs may be offset a little bit with the increase on the other direction.
Okay.
So I didn't react negatively to that.
Okay. All right, great, thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the $16,000 street light electrical budget.
Okay, do we have a second?
All right, seconded.
Any further discussion? None being said, let's take a vote. All in favor of accepting this budget, say aye.
Aye.
The next budget on our agenda is the planning board. Dick, you want to present the budget?
I'll try. I took a best guess, best shot that I could at this, frankly. And I believe that we will probably see a significant change in Southern Maine planning, and as you can see, legal and consulting fees is very much blank across the board. But that's the largest decline, $7,000. I looked across the wages are pretty standard, although I think there are more meetings now because they're trying to work on some of the zoning ordinances and their own ordinance. I don't really have a scientific approach to this. It's more from observation and where I think the board is headed in the next 12 months. I have, as you can see, we're pretty well standard, a couple $100 here and there where we've changed. The biggest changes in the legal, Southern Maine planning, and I think that it speaks toward the work that they're doing. Also, we had a very significant expense last year with a very complex review of the zoning ordinance, and the planning board, I think, is prepared to move forward with that with the select board.
Do we have a motion?
Am I doing them all?
I guess that's the way it looks, Janet.
I make a motion to approve the planning board's budget of $25,700.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Any further discussion? I would just note, Dick, for clerical reasons, that the headings where it says expend, it should be expended. Yes. The categories of for 2023, 2024, and 2024, 2025 were under the expended. The numbers don't quite total up correctly, but it doesn't really make a difference in our decision. Just that I think that you ought to take a look at them, because the bottom numbers, some of them include fees, some of them don't, and if you do the additions, it won't come out correctly on the bottom. It's just for clerical reasons that I would like you to take a look at and make those corrections. Following the logic of what you have presented makes sense to me. We've had the 2025, 2026, some extraordinary expenses with SM, PDC, and those would not be reoccurring, although part of it does seem to be recurring in 2026, 27. But the budget, the way it's presented, does make sense to me. So.
Yeah, my apologies on those expenditures for 23, 24, 24, 25. That was cut and paste, quite frankly, and I didn't move them individually and do the math myself. I will going forward.
Yeah, well, you just might, if you wouldn't mind cleaning that up, just so that we have a document that is accurate. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next budget item is the Finance Committee. You want to present that, Dick?
Not much to present other than I left it as is. There was a $15.50 miscellaneous expense. I'm not sure what that was a few years ago. I think that we're going to go through this process fairly smoothly. I appreciate your patience this first outing. Now that I know a little bit more about what you look for and what you see, I will have a little cleaner slate for you.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept this budget?
I move that we accept the Finance Committee budget for $1,900.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. The only point of interest, Dick, that I have is that, and you wouldn't know this because you're new to this process, but typically we don't have more than 4 or 5 meetings a year. Hopefully we won't have 9. So this budget probably is inflated. That being said, I think that we're probably $900 or so over budget. I don't know how to keep.
I would rather be safe than sorry. We don't know what our winter's going to look like, and we may need to call you back together to do some more discussion about how we can weather the storm, so to speak. So I'm a little bit concerned about that as well.
Yeah, I don't have a problem if the committee doesn't have a problem. You know, I just want to note that we probably are higher than we will end up, or we should be, but we're not talking a lot of money. So it's up to the committee whether or not they want to consider that or not. Any further discussion on that? I guess not. Dick, if you think we might have 9 meetings, then let's leave it. All right, so let's take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The next budget on the agenda is the Appeals Board.
Well, the Appeals Board has had one meeting this year, and I am aware of, without going into the gory details, a few things that might be stirring in the code office that might need some attention. So I left it as is. I don't think it'll be a huge decision, or even maybe not needed. I don't know for sure, but I see, talking with Dwayne, there are some things that I'm not sure they might need to come back and look at some point. So we'll leave it as is, that they can react if they have to.
Okay, I'll take a turn this time. I'll make a motion that we approve the Appeals Board budget for $1,500.
I second.
Any further discussion?
I guess one quick question on expenditures for 23-24, Dick. That looks like a budget, not expenditure. It's just
it may very well be.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, unless everybody's like spends to the nearest hundred.
Too many zeros.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Nothing else from me.
Okay. Basically, 4 meetings a year is very typical. So I don't see any reason not to accept the budget. So if you don't have any further discussion, I'd like to move the motion.
You made it.
All,
made it already, yeah.
all in favor of accepting the Appeals Board budget for $1,500, say aye.
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 The next budget that we will review is the Veterans Flag budget. It is for $1,200. Dick, maybe you want to just give a quick explanation for your budget.
Yeah, I'm going to apologize once again. The $1,200, I think, was, as you can see, this one's a much more condensed presentation, and I apologize once again. Some of these things came out of the system very quickly from past meetings. This one is a small increase. I don't have a basis for it, except I do believe that it's similar to something I saw in a prior year, and I can't remember, honestly. So we're happy to take the $200 back if you like, but I think we're going to be pretty consistent in either $1,000 or $1,200. I apologize for that immensely.
Okay, do we have a motion? Will somebody make a motion to on this budget?
I make a motion to accept the flag budget of $1,200.
Okay, I second it. Any further discussion? Well, I think it's reasonable though, Dick. I mean, we're 23, 24 was 900, 24, 25 went up 100, and you're asking to go up 200. I don't take any issue with that. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the veterans flag budget, say aye.
Aye.
The final budget for this evening is the clothing closet budget. Dick, you want to present that?
I will. I wish that I got these numbers from Diane, and I didn't ask her to be here. She gave me these allocation of appropriation of $500 for miscellaneous expenses. She didn't indicate there was anything further that needed attention. I think that there's been some change in the connectivity to the fire station next door in recent past. Again, this is something that was presented to me and does not appear to be out of line from the prior year, so I didn't balk at it.
Okay. Would somebody like to make a motion on this budget?
I'll make a motion to approve the closing closet budget of $500.
Okay, I accept. I second the motion. Discussion? Dick, I have one question, and that is under fuel and propane. In the previous years, we've had $466 and $454, but in this budget, we have nothing for fuel or propane. Why would that be?
Yeah, I saw that as well, and as I said, I don't know if there's some connectivity to the fire station. Do you either of you know? No. As well, there was nothing last year. So, again, I didn't react to it because it looked consistent with the prior year, and I didn't see that we went over it as well.
It is certainly consistent with the prior years. I just don't understand why the totals are different and there's no fuel appropriation. Could you? And I'm also curious, there is a carry forward for $13,963. Is that a protected fund? What is that for? What is that protected fund for, that carry forward?
Well, they get a lot of donations, and we only give them, $600 a year, and they pay for all their expenses, like a new roof, and they get a lot of donations from people, so they've had a nice, healthy balance since I've been here. And so it's just there in case they have a major problem, like they had to replace the roof a couple years ago, they had to replace some of their electric, they had to get a new heater, but they usually take that out of their funds that they raise.
So really, it's there for them to use if they need to fix up a building,
Catastrophic,
or if they
yeah.
have some emergency or something like
Yeah,
that, they have
yeah.
something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful thing that the community does, the clothing closet, when it is opened, I believe it's all volunteers, and it's, when their hours are for their opening, with their hours, there's always a line of cars in the parking lot, so it must be certainly something that's needed in the town, and it's something that seems to be used.
It's needed by the town, plus it's also open to anyone who comes, so it doesn't matter if you're not from Hollis, you can come to the clothing closet and get stuff.
I would just hope that we weren't, denying them some funds that they probably should have if there is an issue with fuel and propane.
So if you want to put it on whatever you would call it, I'll get that answer for you for the next meeting.
We can bring it back. I'll go talk to Diane. She's the overseer of this.
It's not a big item obviously for the town budget, but it's a big item for the people running the closet. So I would like, if you don't mind, I would like to hold this and table it until you have a chance to do a little more
Absolutely.
research on what's causing these items to be in question. So we have a motion on the floor to accept. We have to dismiss this motion first with a vote. So let's take a vote to either approve or disapprove the motion. All those in favor of disapproving the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
How many ayes do we have? I didn't see. Excuse me. Let's have a show of hands. It's
You
very
said
hard to hear.
disapproving.
Yes, I'm voting to disapprove this motion, to approve.
Okay, then yes.
So we have if I'm polling correctly,
We'll
we are
bring you back
disapproving
some
this motion.
information.
And I'm going to make a motion to table this closed closet budget until the next meeting. Do I have a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
No discussion on tabling motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, Dick. That was your first time around. We got through that fairly well, I think.
You didn't live up to the brutality I thought I was going to face, so thank you very much.
So we'll hold that one over till next week. Public comment.
I just have a couple things. Jim, I was wondering if you could check for me on the bridge lights.
Sure. Whether
I don't
they're
know
on.
if they're on a timer, but the last time I came over when it was dark, they weren't lit. And I know it seems like we've been having that problem all winter or all spring or all summer or something. And the other thing I wanted to let you know is that the planning board has the opportunity, Maine Housing provides money when they pass new legislation in the State House. And last year, Tom, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it was probably 4 to 5 updates that they made to different laws, and we have to implement them by 2027. So they have to be in our zoning by 2027. Last time, if you remember, we had it was LD 2003 that we had to do things with accessory dwelling units and all this stuff, and we updated our policies and had to go back because then we hadn't done one because we didn't think we had to, and they said, yes, you do. So they're providing up to $15,000 for towns to use to update the zoning policies. So we're in the process of applying for that grant. They're going to have, this is the first application or the first round, and for those towns who have councils, have to have the update done by 2026. So because we have a town meeting, we don't have to do the update to 2027. So they said that we would be in box 2, but we're planning on submitting the application because we think they timestamp them, and so it would put us at the top of the list. So we're going to be asking for the $15,000, and included in that is extra meetings with the planning board, extra money to pay legal in Southern Maine, and so we would have to use that money and show that we used it if we get approval. But just so you know that, even you approved their budget, but even if they ran over it, we'll have that money available. We can't start using that money until we get it back that they're going to fund it. Last time, we were only eligible for $5,000. They had, you could be eligible for $5,000 or $10,000, but we were only eligible for $5,000 because we didn't have public water and sewage. So we were only eligible for the $5,000, but it was a very easy process to get the $5,000. So I just wanted to let you know that. So Tom and Heather are both working on that with us. So
Great, thank you, Mary.
because it was, I don't remember, LD 1827, 990 something. I mean, there's a slew of them.
Next on our agenda, we are open for public comment. Do we have any public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 6, and that's scheduling the next meetings. I would like to schedule the next meetings in advance every Tuesday, same time, 6 o'clock, and obviously the same place, until we can get the majority of these budgets cleared up and discussed. So we will be having meetings for the next several weeks. on Tuesdays. So please put that in your schedules. Any other comments? And if not, then our last item is adjournment. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I move for us to adjourn.
And second,
Second.
Because there's been a request by the public that your agenda's published and available for them to review before you have your meetings, so they know what's on the agenda. So I would think that you're going to be doing the ones you were going to do last week. Would that be the ones you're going to review next meeting?
I couldn't quite hear all that, Mary, I'm sorry.
Okay. So the public has asked that your agendas be published, a week before,
Yes,
if possible, or, 4 days before, so they know what's on the agenda in case they want to come and listen or argue about the budget or whatever.
yes, most definitely. And I guess we are relying on Ashley to post those meeting agendas, and this, obviously, the sooner the better, so that.
So I think
they can-
last year, I think that what we did was we sort of at the end of the meeting said, okay, these are the budgets you're going to present at the next meeting. So we could inform people. I don't know how you want to do that.
Fine, I agree with you. I think if I know Ashley was not able to make it this evening because she did send me a note, but she said that she would be tuning in, and if she could work with Dick to get those out in a timely fashion, we'd all appreciate it. That being said, the motion's on the table. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Right. So I was in the same boat.